everyone, it's Miss Rachel again. I do have Miss Tracy here with me. She's going to be prop master today, so you might not see her much, but we're both here. We finally got our summer reading shirts in. If you can see, they're dragons. So we decided we'll do dragons today. And the first book I have is Dragon Was Terrible by Kelly DiPuccio. And Dragon's just a meanie in this book. He's a bully. Dragon was terrible. Naturally, dragons have a bit of terrible in them because they're dragons after all. But this dragon here was super terrible. He stomped on the flowers. He played tricks on the guards like he pulled his pants down. And he spit on cupcakes. Who does that? Dragon does, that's who. And that's not all. He scribbled in books. Never scribble on library books. He scribbled in books. He threw sand and he took candy from baby unicorns. Honestly, that's terrible. The king had had enough. Enough, he said. And he posted this sign. Brave knights, whoever shall tame the terrible dragon shall be rewarded with a gift. It shall be a nice gift. Ye shall like it, His Royal Majesty the King. Do you see what bad old dragon did? There's some graffiti he sprayed. Dragon was here down there. Knights lined up to show off their dragon taming skills. They all failed miserably, and Dragon just grew more terrible. He's grabbing them by their ankles and shaking them, taking their lunch money. He chased fuzzy yellow ducklings around the moat. He toilet papered the castle. And he burned every last royal marshmallow to a blackened crisp. The villagers had had enough. Enough, they said. And they posted this sign. Brave people. Not just knights, whoever wants to go against them. Brave people. Whoever shall tame the terrible dragon shall be rewarded with a gift from the king. It shall be a nice gift, we hope. Ye shall like it, perhaps. His Royal Majesty the King. But you can see, Dragon did it again. Dragon was here again. He's still bad. Ordinary blokes and lassies lined up to try their hand at taming the dragon, and they all failed. Embarrassingly so. And just when you thought it wasn't possible, that dragon grew more terrible. He's just grabbing everybody by the ankles. He popped birthday balloons. He drew funny faces on the drawbridge, and he burped in church loudly. Now that's terrible and rude. A boy wearing a feathered cap and a look of determination had had enough, only he didn't say enough like he thought he would. Instead, he sketched a story. The next day, Dragon followed a trail of marshmallows to a shady tree where the boy was reading. The boy spied the dragon out of the corner of his eye and began to read aloud in a booming voice. And then the brave dragon swooped in to save the princess, he said. Well, Dragon stopped in his tracks. A brave dragon? But the terrible knight pulled out his wicked sword. Dragon pretended not to listen. The brave dragon roared, and the fraidy cat knight trembled in his boots. Dragon pretended to walk away like he doesn't care. A crowd began to gather, and Dragon took cover in a tree, and the boy continued reading page after page after page until... Snap! Crash! Dragon landed on the ground with a terrible thud. The crowd gasped and the dragon roared. The clever boy didn't flinch. He reached out a hand to the dragon and said, "Would you like to hear how the story ends?" And just when you thought it wasn't possible, Dragon smiled, and he took a seat beneath the tree with the other children. Honestly, that's adorable. The king cheered, the villagers cheered, the baby unicorn and the fuzzy ducklings cheered the loudest of all. And at long last, the terrible dragon, had been tamed. The end. You needed a story about a nice dragon. Hey, wait a minute. What about that reward? Oh yeah, that the gift was a friend, a new friend, a nice dragon, of course. That's all you get, kid. That is the end. The dragon just needed to hear a story about a nice dragon. I have a little story here about some knights and a dragon. Can you count them with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if you can see them. 5 brave knights are here to save the day. Along came the dragon and took one away. Now how many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 brave knights here to save the day. Along came the dragon and took one away. Now how many do we have left? 1, 2, 3. 3 brave dragons here to save the day, but along came the dragon. Very dainty. And he took one away. Oh, it's my nuts. Now how many knights do we have left? We have 1, 2. 2 brave knights here to save the day. Along came the dragon. No! And he took one away. Now we have how many? Just 1. 1 brave knight here to save the day. Along came the dragon. Oh, that was a hard one. He carried one away. Now what? No brave knights here to save the day, but they're all in the castle, and there they will stay. They didn't really get eaten. You just took them home. They're cool. They're okay. I have a draw and tell story for you. I want to bring the board over here from Miss Tracy. She's going to hold it for me because the legs aren't staying on it very well. Of course, that one won't come off. The other one keeps falling off. I'm going to turn the camera so you're going to see Miss Tracy a little bit more than me. Oh, that's the wrong pen. That's the one that doesn't work. I have a story called The Princess and the Critter. And I'm going to draw along and you're going to tell me what I'm drawing. See if you can guess. Once upon a time, there was a princess who was thoroughly sick and tired of hearing the fearless knights who lived in her father's castle. I'm going to draw the castle. There's a castle. Boop. That's the princess in the castle. Who bragged about how they battled fierce dragons every day of the week. So one day, Princess Tracy, for that was her, you're welcome. I didn't tell her, she's the princess in the story. Packed a bag and set off to do battle with the dragons. So she's going to leave the castle. And she walked for a long time until she came to a deep, dark forest. The trees in the forest were close together, and the paths wound around this way and that. And soon Tracy was lost. She wandered around and around. The sky filled with clouds and it started to rain. Tracy was getting soaked. So she needed shelter, and luckily she happened upon a cave. First, let me get the rain cloud. No. The cave, she's going to go in the cave. The cave was dark and smelled damp and unpleasant, but it was better than the rain. So Tracy went into the cave. Stalactites hung from the ceiling, and sharp stones littered the floor. Tracy stood just inside and watched the rain, and suddenly she heard a noise behind her. She let out a little yell. Let out a yell, Tracy. And spun around to see a big, friendly-looking critter smiling at her. Wet enough to drown a whale, said the critter. When the rain stopped, Tracy and the critter, who was also lost, decided to travel on together. By and by, we're going to leave. They came to a deep gorge. Bloop, bloop, with a river running at the bottom. Now what? Said Tracy. Now what is you climb on my back, said the critter. So Tracy did what she was told, and with one mighty leap, whoop-ew, the critter and the princess were on the other side. They walked for a while longer until they came to another deep gorge with another river at the bottom. Well, this time Tracy didn't ask now what. She just climbed on top of the critter's back, and again, with no effort, he leaped over the gorge with no effort whatsoever. Do you think we'll ever find our way home? She said to the critter. They were walking through a thick wood. Here, let me draw some trees, wood, trees, trees. Sorry, Tracy, I'm shaking the board for you.
Okay.
Through a deep wood. Let's ask that woodcutter if he knows where your castle is, said the critter. So the princess and the critter approached the woodcutter, who was sitting under a tree eating a simple lunch of bread and cheese. I have heard of a castle, he said. A traveler told me of a castle far across the mountains. And he pointed to the west, where Tracy could see some high mountains standing against the sky. Well, that might be my father's castle, said Tracy. Only one way to find out, said the critter. So they thanked the woodcutter and started out in the direction of the mountains. They walked for a long time and finally came to the foot of the first mountain. Then for many days they climbed up the mountain. Then for many days they climbed down. Up one side, down the other. Mountain after mountain. One day Tracy looked down and saw a valley far below. And at the valley was a castle. We're home. So the princess and the critter ran down the mountain. Tracy burst excitedly into the room at the castle, where the king and his knights were sitting around telling their dragon stories. You're back, said one of the knights. Did you battle a dragon, girl? Did you bring back the head for us to hang on the wall? He laughed and all the other knights laughed. Tracy was too excited to care about the joke. I didn't see any dragons, she said, but I had a lot of good adventures and I met a neat critter. She went to the door and called in the critter. When the critter came into the room, all the knights and even the king started to shout, a dragon, run for your lives. And that's what they did. They ran out the doors and they jumped out the windows and they hid in the cellar. What scared them? Asked Princess Tracy. Do you know what scared them? What do you think scared them, Tracy? Do you want to take a look at the picture?
It was a dragon.
The critter was a dragon the whole time.
A dragon.
And it was nice. It helped Tracy out. Princess Tracy.
Yes, the dragon was my friend.
Get back to your dad's castle. So you can take him on a picnic with your sister. I have another story. This one's kind of a silly one. I like this one. Not your typical dragon. Your typical dragon, when you think of dragons, they usually like to breathe fire. This one didn't breathe fire. We'll see what happened with, I think his name is Crispin. Crispin Blaze was born into a proud family of fire-breathing dragons. Every Blaze, let me fix the camera, breathes fire, explained his father. I breathe fire, your mother breathes fire, and tomorrow when you turn 7, you're going to breathe fire too. The little dragon imagined all the forests he would burn down, and he dreamed of all the castles he would destroy, and he also considered boiling water to make tea, but he didn't tell his dad that. The next day, Crispin sat among the family and friends as a big cake was brought to the table. Who will light the birthday candles? His mother asked. I will, declared Crispin. He could feel a tingling inside of his tummy, but when he opened his mouth, fire did not come out. What's going to come out of that dragon? Where's my dragon? Try again. Come out. Thank you, dragon. This is fabulous. We'll just wipe off the book a little there. Crispin shouted at his father, dragons breathe fire. What will the neighbors think? What will the neighbors think? Worried his mother. I love whipped cream, said his little sister Ashley. The little dragon was whisked off to the doctor the very next day. Please fix my son, demanded Crispin's father. What seems to be the problem? Asked the doctor. Crispin opened his mouth and breathed, but fire did not come out. Instead, at the doctor, Band-Aids came out. I see, Band-Aids! Thank you, Crispin, said the doctor gravely. Dragons should breathe fire, insisted Crispin's father. We were low on Band-Aids, mumbled the nurse. The doctor sent Crispin home with medicine. He swallowed 2 teaspoons before going to school. It'll help you become a real dragon. Sorry, I got lost. After school, Crispin joined his friends for his first fire-breathing practice. One by one, little dragons aimed their fiery breath at stacks of logs until they burst into flames. Crispin stepped up confidently, and he could feel the medicine bubbling in his tummy, but when he opened his mouth, fire didn't come out. Marshmallows came out.
Marshmallows.
This is revenge for the pirate hat and the pig hat. Marshmallows came out. Dragons breathe fire, yelled the coach. Isn't that right, class? The other dragons didn't answer. They were too busy looking for pointy sticks for marshmallow roasting. Guess not a real dragon, Crispin thought. He worried that his family would be disappointed, so he ran away from home. Not yet. The world can be a scary place for a little dragon. The world can be a scary place for a little dragon who can't breathe fire. Crispin found a dark cave. I'll be a fireless dragon all by myself. I won't bother anyone and no one will bother me. An hour later, he had a visitor. I am Sir George, squeaked the thin, shiny knight. Show yourself, dragon. Crispin shuffled out of the cave. A thin, shiny knight held up his thin, shiny sword. Do you worst, dragon? Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Bubbles came out instead. Oh, okay. Don't you breathe fire, dragon? Crispin shook his head. I can't. Sir George moaned, but my father insists that I fight a fire-breathing dragon. It even says here in my book that your typical dragon breathes fire. I'm not your typical dragon, Crispin explained. Sir George sighed. Oh, now I can't go home. Me neither, Crispin nodded. But then he had an idea. Maybe your book could tell us what to do. So, of course, Sir George searched through the pages. It says it's probably just your diet. Sir George fed Crispin spicy curry, scorching chili, and blistering salsa. Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Streamers came out. At least they're the right color, said Sir George kindly. Sir George searched through the book again. It says it's probably your attitude. Sir George showed Crispin how to look mean and angry enough to breathe fire. Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Only teddy bears came out. Soft, cuddly teddy bears. Said Sir George. We may have taken a step backward. It's no use, Crispin sighed. I'm just not your typical dragon. But Sir George was not ready to give up yet. Aha! The book says you're too stressed. Sir George made Crispin close his eyes, and while he described a quiet, relaxing day at the ocean. Do you feel calm? Now imagine 100 shiny knights attacking you. Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. A beach ball came out. Well, that's just plain weird. Oh, the costumes I'm going to have you wear. Secretly, Sir George was glad that Crispin couldn't breathe fire. He liked the little dragon, and he didn't want to fight him. Crispin liked the shiny knight, too, but he missed his parents. Sir George, it's getting dark. I want to go home. The shiny knight patted him on the back. Don't worry, little dragon. I will take you. Crispin's parents were relieved when he arrived home safely. Sir George was about to say goodbye when they heard a shout. There you are, boy! Why on earth are you playing with fire-breathing dragon? He's my friend, father, whispered Sir George, and besides, he doesn't breathe fire. A dragon that doesn't breathe fire? That's the silliest thing I've ever heard of. The shiny man laughed. Well, Crispin's father stormed out of the house. My son is not silly. He may not breathe fire, but I certainly do. Crispin's father let out a powerful spray of flames. No flamethrowers for Tracy. Do your worst, dragon, declared the shiny man, but when the flames scorched the lawn. That's enough, honey, said Crispin's mother. The flames singed the fence. You've made your point, dear. Now stop showing off, she scolded. Then the flames ignited the roof. Crispin's father panicked. I can't stop breathing fire. You'll burn our house down, cried his mother. You'll burn down the whole neighborhood. Dragons came running from all directions. They knew how to start fires, but nobody knew how to stop one. Crispin suddenly felt a tingling in his tummy. He felt a bubbling in his belly. He opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Oh boy. A gush of water shot out. You could get my chins to this whipped cream. Thank you. You just wait till this camera stops. Crispin ate the water at his father's flames. He saved his home, and he even saved the shiny man who wasn't looking so shiny anymore. Hooray for Crispin! Everyone shouted. Good job, Crispin. On Crispin's next birthday, there was a big party. Family and friends came from all over the land. Sir George and his family came too. Lots of dragons were dancing, and Crispin stood with his mouth wide open. Fire didn't come out, but music came out instead. Maybe he could sing a little tune? Your son said to old uncle, to Crispin's father, he's not your typical dragon, is he? No, replied Crispin's father proudly. My son is something special. Special, all right. And then he jumped up and danced to Crispin's music too. Where's my music, Crispin? Make him sing. That's good, Crispin. You did a good job. Thanks for joining us for another week. I have a craft, your prize bags. There are still, as of this moment, there are still week 1 and week 2 prize bags left. If you haven't gotten them, pick them up. The craft this week is you're going to make your very own little dragon. You're going to have a painted tube. There's different colors in there, and you'll have some eyes and 2 that are for the nose. And then inside you can, I just used Elmo's glue for all of this. So you can put glue inside and put the papers down. So if you want, I don't blow my germs around, but if you blow through it, the streamers will fly through. So this is this week's craft that you can pick up, and we hope you enjoyed your dragon stories, and I'm going to go wash up. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Miss Tracy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.